Welcome back to Inside This Teacher's Studio. This time, Toni welcomes California educator and longtime friend, Cindy Diaz-Donovan.
Cindy Diaz-Donovan is with me today, my special guest, and she has taught 29 years in 6 schools in 3 districts. Mostly she's taught 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade, but mostly 4th and 5th. Both the LA Unified School District and Chino Valley Unified School District.
Oh, and Glendora Unified.
And Glendora Unified, thank you. The names of the schools are Roscoe, Lafetra, Rolling Ridge, Dixon, Cortez, Liberty. At her current school, she was Teacher of the Year 2018, and at Liberty, she was the 4th grade Teacher of the Year. Welcome, Cindy Diaz-Donovan, to Inside This Teacher Studio. The first question is, who are the people in your family that gave you the confidence to do what you're doing?
Well, definitely my parents. My mom taught for 36 years, I believe, in LA Unified School District, and awesome teacher. And my dad was also a teacher for LA Unified and later became an administrator. And they just, during all my years growing up, they gave me a lot of confidence to do whatever I wanted to do. And they always supported me. I did not originally go to college for teaching. I thought, teaching is completely unglamorous. I'm not doing it. And then through a series of events over a few years in the early 90s, I realized that no, this is what I should be doing. And my parents supported that wholeheartedly. And throughout my life, they've just always been at everything I ever did. Every game I cheered at, every Job's Daughter meeting, every school play. Even now, like when I was Teacher of the Year, they came to the board meeting where that was announced. And so they've always supported me 100%.
Great. How would you describe your growing up years?
Very, I guess you'd say upper middle class, 70s, very much a bubble. I had a great neighborhood where I grew up. I was very fortunate that with my parents, with their education, they were able to have very stable jobs. And so I went with the same group of kids. I stayed at one elementary school, then junior high school, then high school. I was never the new kid. And I think that that's something that's hard, that I've seen a lot during teaching. And of course it can't be helped. And of course families move. But I never had that experience of we were all new in kindergarten. So I was just always with the same people. And I did well in school, but not like I was a perfect student by any means. There were certain people who did better, but I just loved school. It was like a social outlet for me. I loved all the extra things we got to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who were some of the mentors who influenced your teaching style?
Oh, my teaching style. I think over the years I've tried lots of people's styles, and what I've realized is I just have to go with my own style, which I'm not even sure. I probably need a former student to describe what my style is. But I've definitely had mentors. I had great mentor teachers at Roscoe Elementary, Sue Gilliam and Michelle Oakley. They were wonderful. And then when I got to Glendora, oh my goodness, I can't think of this lady's name, but I can picture her. It was Karen.
And what was it that she did that was
Well, Karen really helped me to get more organized and clear on what I needed to do. Both my mentor teachers were such, or I should say master teachers, were both such naturals that I think it was hard for them to really explain what they did. Whereas that's her name, Karen Reed, when I got to Glendora, she really helped me to create my behavior management and again, organize me to, and that was the first time I was at a traditional year school, and how to put my curriculum to go all the way from, at that time, September to June. But I don't know about a style.
No, it's okay.
I have my own style. Oh, and then of course I'm always influenced. I always, especially when I'm teaching fourth grade, I think of my very favorite teacher from high school, Miss Lorene Vale, who was my teacher in high school, and I had her for world history and for California history, and her very enthusiastic style of teaching and really engaging the students. I think of her a lot when I'm trying to create lessons, even though she was high school.
Okay. What factors make your work successful?
Well, like my own personal ones, or ones like outside of me, like at work?
Totally what it is within your sphere.
I'm more successful when I get more sleep and eat right, which I have trouble doing both of those. If I take time for myself, I'm more energetic and vibrant at work. At work, it's always helped that I felt at all the 6 staffs I've been on. I feel incredible support from all my other teachers. So you need that camaraderie. Teachers need other teachers, and that's been my biggest thing that's helped me, is my friendships with other teachers.
Okay. What do you think matters in a daily schedule as an elementary school teacher? What things do you think have to be there?
Well, definitely for elementary students, and I try to incorporate this into my day, which of course is hard because we're giving so many rules on time and standards that we have to teach, and all that curriculum is definitely important. But what I found in these last few years, even pre-COVID, is you really have to let those kids know you care about them first before you're trying to teach them anything. So it's really important. I've been doing this thing, it was harder to do during COVID, but we still did it, of having a class meeting each day. And I used to call it morning meeting, but then we ended up having to do it after lunch. So just kind of a time where you come together and talk about any problems that you're having, and really encouraging kids, if they need to come talk to me after school, as elementary or at recess, or they can write me a note or whatever. We elementary teachers, we have to kind of take on that role. So I've worked harder on not just plunging into the curriculum, but really at the beginning of the year, besides trying to set standards, of getting to know each student personally. And I think I kind of forgot that along the way, because I felt always so pressured, and test scores, and we have to look good compared to the other schools in our district and everything. And so those kids have to know that you care for them, and are a real person, before you're just shoving the curriculum. Yeah.
What is one disaster in your teaching that you wish you could go back and change?
That I put on myself?
Anything that comes to mind.
Well, gosh, that's tough. Probably I should have been more clear with the administrator I had in the 16-17 school year, and shouldn't have taken it for granted that I would get a certain grade level the next year. I did not handle it well, because I was just so convinced that, and assuming she knew that when this one 4th grade teacher retired, that I would just slide into that spot, and that was not the case. And I did not, sometimes I don't know that I gave myself fully to the group of 3rd graders I had, because I was just so irate at how it came to be. Yeah. And
you wish you could go back.
I wish I could go back and have those students as 4th graders. I really wanted them as 4th graders. They were a great class, except one kid.
Who shall remain
Who
nameless.
shall remain nameless.
Yeah, we do, just like Harry Potter, right?
Yes.
What memory is a powerful one for you of a student in crisis?
Who I was maybe able to help, or
Yeah.
oh boy. Well, I mean, the most recent crisis I can think of is, again, a student in that third grade class who now just got out of sixth grade, who I wish I could have, there could have been something more I could have done for him, but I really realized that it was the whole system. He was a student who would be considered, I guess, they call it like a double E or something, twice exceptional, of extreme, highly gifted, but at the same time, really just social emotional level was, it was really bad. And I did everything I could possibly do, and I really found out that there's not places for him in our school district. And I still think of him all the time because when I went back and visited that school, he was the first one that just could not stop hanging on me. He was so, Mrs. Donovan, so good to see you. Like, he really needed a lot of help. And I tried my best. And I feel like he's still, from what I hear, in major crisis. Yeah, it breaks my heart.
Do you trust children, and why do you trust them?
Oh, yeah.
And why?
I trust them until they do something that makes me not trust them, but I still will give them privileges. I mean, I don't know why, I love kids. I especially love 9 and 10-year-olds. So I don't know. I just do. That's a really hard question. I trust most people. I trust most adults unless I'm shown something that their behavior against it. Yeah. I mean, and I feel like kids are smarter sometimes. Kids see things more clearly than adults a lot of times. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
What is a moment that you learned something about teaching that you wish you learned a lot sooner? I'll give you an example.
Oh, okay.
I never knew about the bathroom signal, and so then somebody showed it to me, and I was like, that's a great idea. Instead of having them talk to me, they could just show me a signal.
Oh, you meant like that.
Anything in teaching that you're like, oh, if somebody had told me that a long time ago, I would have been super grateful. You want to think about that one?
Well, yeah, because I mean, this sounds really stupid, but the only one that even comes to mind is just when I went from my one school I thought I'd stay at forever that was a completely in your bubble school and got put at another school. I didn't even know that our district had a place where you could send off copies to be made. I didn't even know that existed because at this school there were so many parent volunteers that I just had stuff done for me and didn't even realize. I don't know how, I know there has to be a better one than that. But when I got to the other school, I was like, oh, you mean, is that a store? Is that like a Kinko's that we get reimbursed? And the secretary is looking at me, she's like, no, it's in our district. And here are the forms that you fill out. She's like, how have you been in the district for 8 years? You've never seen this. And I was like, I had parents who did it. I don't know.
So you lived a life.
Yeah, I did. Oh, I was in the dark.
What are the thoughts or the main themes that guide your teaching? What do you think of over and over again as you're planning or as you're teaching? Are there certain truisms or ideas that you think, yeah, that's something I think?
Well, I mean, it sounds kind of, trite or whatever, but I really do think of it. I try really hard to think, how can I make each lesson as engaging as possible? And what's frustrating is we don't have enough planning time for me to really do it for every single lesson, but I really try for that to be engaging. And then I always try to think of all my levels that I need to differentiate for. And I also try to think, especially again these last 5 to 6 years, not that I didn't before, but I think of it more now, is how to be inclusive of everyone, because what I've seen, and I've worked with some phenomenal teachers over the years, but what I've seen when I've observed sometimes in other classrooms is they kind of just always will work with like the kids who raise their hand and the smartest ones, and I try really hard to figure out how I can pull everybody in, maybe not in every lesson, but who I can pull in overall. So I really try to think inclusivity. And on the playground too. I'm really worried about that all the time.
Playground.
Yeah, all the girl drama.
Wow, no, some things cannot be cured. What do students do to show you that they're succeeding?
That I ask them to, or they just do naturally?
Either one.
Well, a lot of students just, and this is where I kind of realized how so many of them perhaps at home aren't getting talked to as much as I've found, and this isn't a bad thing. I've just had to learn to deal with it, that many kids are very needy, that they want an adult's attention about everything. So I've had several, like half the class over these last few years, who they just want to show me everything. They want me to see all their work. They want to talk to me a lot. And it's hard because like there's certain times when I just can't, like literally I'm like, I gotta answer the phone, or we've gotta leave to go to the library and we're walking down the hall. But I try really hard to like listen to their personal stories, and they're very excited to show you things. And again, what I have to do is try to engage the kids who don't do that. Mm-hmm. And right. So I have to keep reminding myself, okay, who's someone I haven't heard from? Because a lot of them want to show you every detail and tell you every detail of their lives.
Yes. What do you think is the importance of science instruction?
Oh, that's a big one. I think science is very important. It's kind of hard for me because I'm so not a science person. It doesn't really interest me that much, but it does interest kids. Oh, they love science. It's important that they understand how things work, and that it's like, I always thought of it as like, okay, it is, it's biology, it's chemistry, things like that. But now, with so many things about STEM, I do like when, and our school has that I'm at now has a makerspace, and we've done a lot of STEM projects. And science is important because they need to explore that there could be many ways to solve one problem. That they always, many kids are always thinking there's only this way, and it's neat to see them work on different STEM projects and relate it to real life, and see that they have to work collaboratively because of course I put them in groups, to again just try to figure out how things work, and not just like letting them be the problem solvers and not us just telling them everything. And that's kind of been hard for me. I've really learned that. I think I've gotten a lot better at that.
Yeah, that is a hard one.
Yeah.
You'll like this one better.
Okay.
Which of the fine arts, singing, dancing, visual arts, drama, or architecture, do you promote the most in your classroom?
I wonder. Definitely drama. I would totally incorporate music if I could sing. I absolutely would. But definitely drama. I've done a ton of readers theater over the years. I just taught a drama class this summer for summer enrichment, and I absolutely, I love it. And I just see the kids blossom. And really, not just the ones who want to be on stage. Some of them are still usually a little timid about that, but they'll be like, well, can I make the background, and can I look around the classroom for some props we could use? And so yeah, definitely drama. And I'm hoping with our new fabulous principal that we can do more at our school with like talent shows, different plays and things per grade level.
Do you have any stories about the Great Horn Spoon that you want to tell now?
Oh, well, wait. Well, there's many. there's the time you came and helped me out. Is that what that
Yeah,
was?
so then when we got the kids into the situation where they believed
right,
was who...
that with the storyline teaching, yes. Well, I love the book By the Great Horn Spoon, which is all about the California Gold Rush, and reading it with fourth graders is just delightful. And so yeah, there was the year, and I remember it was 1998, because you were pregnant with Callie, and you came to my classroom, and we let them think you were like a producer or director, talent scout, something like that we were going to cast the movie of this movie about the California Gold Rush. And that was awesome. The kids had made their pitches about who they thought would be great and what stars at that time would be great in those roles. And and then I've done other things too with that. I've had the Laguna Playhouse come out to 2 of my schools and perform. I've raised the money so they can come. There's a group down there that they do children's plays at schools, and so they come and perform. And it's real actors.
Great Horns
who are like Screen Actors Guild actors.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, I don't think I told you that. Yeah.
Well, we're going to go into the more... sorry.
Well, no, you go right ahead.
Well, we're going to go into the more personal one. So did you want to say anything else about that?
No,
okay.
No.
This set of questions is based on Inside the Actors Studio, James Lipton's questions. Okay. So these are easier, actually.
Okay.
And it's for elementary school. Kenny did it too.
Oh, God.
What is a letter you like? What is a letter of the alphabet that you like?
K.
Why?
Because 2 people I love the most, their name starts with K.
Oh, what is a letter you hate or don't like?
I don't know. I've never thought of that. Okay, I don't know. I know I really hate, and after all these years, kids still do it the same way. I hate when kids go, L for loser. I hate that.
Okay, so that's a good one. There is a good one.
Hate it.
Yeah. What do you love to hear as a teacher?
Thank you, Mrs. Donovan. Even more so than just them, sitting down, being quiet, whatever, is I found kind of in the last 5 to 10 years, a lot of kids are not taught that by their families, and I have to kind of teach them not just to thank me, but to thank anyone who does something for them. But I love when a kid on their own says thank you for whatever it is. That's the best, and that you feel it's really genuine. Yeah.
What do you hate to hear as a teacher?
Oh, well, there's like 2 things. One is I can't. I hate when they say they can't about anything. And when kids will say, oh, well, he did it, or she did it, or they made me, or and that just makes me just insane.
That's a hard one.
Yeah.
And here's the follow-up question.
Okay.
Do you use curse words?
I have come close many times. No, I don't. But, believe me, are they in my head? Oh, yes.
Okay.
They're in my head, but no, I've been good. But like I said, there's a few times where I've caught myself. Yeah.
Besides teaching, what other profession would you have liked to pursue?
Well, not that I knew it at the time, because I didn't even know this job really existed. But I would love to be an event planner. I would love to do that. Or do something with drama. I'd love to direct when I retire, a community theater play or children's play. But yeah, probably event planner.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last question.
Okay.
If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say upon your arrival?
Oh, gosh. Well, I would like. I think there's always that thing in the Bible.
Besides, we have a bright
Right, besides we have a Brighton or we have, Disneyland heaven, I really hope, it sounds corny, but well done, good and faithful servant.
Nice.
I really hope, because I try. I try really hard to be a good person and to do, what I need to and for my family and my career, so.
Yeah. And you succeed, and I know that, and you are a dear friend, and thank you for being my guest today on Inside the Teacher Studio.
Well, thank you. I love chatting.